playing Clare in the quarter-final was not the ideal scenario for Kerry, having played them early on in the championship, and particularly how Clare played in Croke Park. Again, they went into their shell, didn't really express themselves and offered no real test to Kerry. So Eamon Fitzmaurice and his management team still probably have a lot of question marks over some players, the system they want to play, the type of game plan they want to go about. So they're really depending on their training games and the competitiveness within the squad. And you can train as hard as you like and play these A versus B games, but nothing really replaces championship football. So from that point of view, I definitely think Kerry are at disadvantage going in, and they're definitely slightly probably undercooked. A lot of the talk going into the Dublin-Donegal quarter-final was how Dublin have lost a number of their defenders from last year, and is their squad as strong as it was again, last year? And I think the answer to that question, Donegal really put up a good test, but Dublin looked very comfortable, you would have to say, throughout most of that game. And it certainly was a test that Jim Gavin wanted, because it showed up some weaknesses in the Dublin team as well. I think their discipline it's well documented, their discipline on the day wasn't up to scratch, and certainly if that happened against Kerry in a semi-final, they'd probably end up paying for it. So he'd be delighted that that happened in a quarter-final where they could afford to still win the game, and now he can work on that over the next couple of weeks. So from that point of view, I think Jim Gavin would be delighted with the Donegal game. From a Kerry perspective, it's a huge game. This group of players have come out the wrong side of results against Dublin the last couple of occasions, and I think the most disappointing thing from the Kerry point of view is that Kerry haven't performed either. It's one thing to lose to a team that's better than you, but you really want to perform. So I think Kerry will come. They've earmarked this game from a long way off, so I think they will come and they will perform, and they'll really put it up to Dublin for the first time this year, and it'll be a big test for Dublin. Dublin, on the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of talk about defensively, are they as strong as last year? It really hasn't been tested. Donegal played with 2-3 forwards at most. Kerry will play with 4 or 5 attackers, and they have the quality of forward to really test them. James O'Donoghue's come back from injury, Paul Ganey's in great form, Donncha Welch, Barry John Keane coming off the bench. So they have that forward threat that Dublin haven't faced this year. So it's going to be intriguing from that point of view. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'd be very slow to back against my own county and the players I've soldiered with. So I'm really hoping there's a big performance in this Kerry team, and the fact that they're coming in under the radar, being written off not only by people, neutrals outside of Kerry, but even within Kerry. I think the general feeling is that this Kerry team mightn't be good enough to beat Dublin, but I think there's a big performance in Kerry, and I can see them causing an upset.